In my pockets, don't need it now. There it is. Why doesn't that happen at home? Oh, snap. Well, that's different. Okay, go. There are places. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I am Santa Grogu. I am not at all messed up in the head. I am not at all crazy. I'm going to set this down real quick. Sorry. Should have done that beforehand. Ooh, slightly. Oh my goodness. All right. Hi. It's a Monday. I have officially started streaming at home a little bit in addition to this because, well, why not? It's my channel. I can stream what I want to. I'm not always here, and I'm not always at home, but, you know, if I'm at home, it's easier to stream stuff. I just don't have any pinball machines at home. But I do have a lot of classic arcade games, so I started streaming some retro consoles. But we're not there right now. We're here. And here, we're going to be talking about, if you saw the title, I'm still working on the virtual pinball. And while I'm working on it, Zen released an update for the whole shebang. So I download the new update, and oh, I can tell a difference. I can tell a difference. Okay, so my machine is only Zen tables. I don't have any other future pinball or knockoffs or whatever. So it's only Zen tables. So you have their tables that they've created, and then you have the Williams tables that are recreated in there. And the Williams tables just kind of always sucked. There's flipper lag because it's a computer and not a real pinball machine. But on the Williams table, it's really bad. Like, you could really see it. Now, this update happened, and I think it fixed it to as, well, way better than it was. So I will kind of go over what I've been doing with the virtual pinball. Maybe turn it on, play a couple of the games, the Williams games or whatever, and then I'm going to move on to High Speed and talk about what I'm going to do with that thing and show you the brand new playfield we got for it. So come with me on this magical adventure, and I may or may not be wearing this. Cool, I was thinking about getting a virtual pinball. Good for you. Hey, thank you for chiming in. So let's I see what camera is better. This one is, oh, that is not even set up. Let's do that one. All right. So here we are. Is this as far back as I can go? Gotta move the camera back if you can't move the thing forward. All right. So what have I done recently? So the new things I've done, I gotta turn off some of these lights so we can see when I turn it on, is I got all of this lit up. Lit up or lighted up. It's one of those two. All right, let's go over here. Turn that off a little bit. So we have the coin door is lit up. These are lit up, and this is lit up right here. The only thing left to do on the lighting up is the buttons. We're waiting on special buttons to get for that, or special lights for that. And here's the difference. Okay, so these buttons I bought off of Amazon, and they are 12 volt power. I'm over here. These are 12 volt power. Okay, you need to shut up. Let's get out of this for a second. I don't want it to start right now. We'll come back to it in a second. So these lights run off of 12 volts. So that was easy enough to find on my power supply that I have in here, which is all the wires are black. But it was easy enough to find because I ran it off of the fans that are going out the back. I ran an excess wires to get the 12 volts. to light up these buttons. The coin door and the start button, I guess the launch button, is 6 volts. And that's a standard, a standard bulb for any pinball machine is a 6-volt bulb. And what I used for that, to get the power for that, instead of trying to find the 5 volts off of there, I had a old cordless phone adapter that was a 6-volt AC, and I just spliced into that, plugged the adapter into my power strip to get 6 volts off of this, and then there'll be 6 volts for the buttons. Really simple power adapter, splice it, because the LEDs will run off of 6 volts AC or DC, so it doesn't matter. So I've got them on the 6 volts AC. The other thing I did, which is on the back box here, is we were trying to think of a bezel to do, but it was not working out for me. So what we decided to do instead is this. So we put some lights behind the monitor so that the bezel now has this cool little glow behind it. Let's turn this one off, see if you can see it better. Yeah. So that is my bezel now, is, LED lights behind the back glass monitor. I think it looks pretty cool. It was nice and cheap. And yeah, we're not trying to be anything else other than, we're just it's a virtual pinball. It's not a real pinball machine. So we were playing around. We're having fun. And the lights that I got are at Walmart for like $5. They plug into a USB. They're $5. Stick them to the back of the monitor. It looks great. All right, so things I still need to do. I have, excuse me a second. Let me slide it out of here. We have this to make a bezel for around the monitor. So this will go on top of this to black out the parts that aren't the actual monitor. We still have to do that. We still have to paint that. Then I already have the glass. I'm still trying to program the buttons in a way that we can play it in the arcade. I got to try to dumb it down for people, because regular people, they're not very smart. I'm going to say it. Regular people are not very smart, and they can't figure out how to push buttons. Plus, they're little Tiny Tims and their little Bob Cratchits. They just push buttons and stuff when, they don't have any quarters in it. So I got to make it regular people safe so that they can play it in the arcade. And I'm still trying to figure out some of that. What I've done here, LOL, yeah. What I've done here is a little bit, so I'm going to try to, these buttons will be locked out for the most part when you play. The game will start by dropping a quarter in, which, by the way, Zen gave me permission to set this up in our arcade, so I'm not breaking any copyright laws. So they'll drop a quarter in, the game, whichever game they choose, will start. If I have to get into it, underneath the cabinet, I've put directional buttons and an escape button and things like that I can control that nobody else should be messing with. I don't know, maybe. So those are the things I'm still trying to figure out. But we still want to get it in the arcade. We got the graphics. It's our own Arcade Dungeon virtual pinball machine. So let me get onto this one. Maybe we'll turn it on here. Once I straighten... That's the wrong camera setup. Once I straighten up the Playfield to line up with the camera. And then maybe we'll turn this on. Now, if this is being built for you, if you're getting somebody to build this for you, remember, some of this stuff is not extremely on the kosher legal side if you are not the license holder. So be careful what you buy and who's doing it and what. If you're building it yourself for your home, there's a lot more leeway. But I'm going to tell you now, with my setup, this is not cheap. I did not go all out. I did not put coils in it because I know it's a video game. It's not a real pinball machine. So I have not done that. I've done enough. It's got good sound. It's got the flippers feel nice. Let me turn it on. The way it's set up normally is that when you just power it on, it goes right into it. But I shut it off here for a second. Let's go back to it. Nope, not that. That's the wrong thing. This is what you get when you try to use your pant leg as a mouse pad. Your pants are not a mouse pad. There we go. Haptics. I don't have... The only haptics I have is from the subwoofer. You know, I don't have any... I don't have any knockers. I don't have any coils. I don't have anything to do to create any kind of feedback other than the subwoofer. And the subwoofer, you crank this up enough, or at least at normal play level, it does sound pretty good. Remember, I still don't have all my buttons figured out yet of how I want to set it up. And we'll turn it up a little bit here. But, yeah, if I have it up to the right volume, I can feel the vibration of the flippers. I can feel the vibration of the pop bumpers. And it's good enough. I'm not trying to recreate a pinball machine. I got plenty of pinball machines. So, this is just to have fun and have a bunch of tables that I can't play in real life, or tables that I don't own. So the Zen, just Zen alone, comes with like 100 different tables, Williams tables, and their own designs. This, what I'm using right now, is the front end. This is not included with Zen Pinball. You have to download this yourself and set it up so that you can cycle through the games this way, put your quarter in, and play. So you have to set this front end part up on your own, unless you go into Zen Pinball and just play with their menu set up and stuff. But this is the easier way for regular people to start a game. I'm going to play Attack from Mars. This is, obviously, it's a real machine that has been turned into virtual. But I think their updates made it a lot better. The flippers work, I think they work a heck of a lot better. The visuals, I don't know if they updated the visuals so much on this one. There's been a couple of them where they've actually told me they've updated visuals. But this one's still fun. So I'm going to play this one. We'll zoom in on the DMD a little bit so you can see what's going on. We're going to play this for just a little bit and go through it, and then we're going to go over to the high speed. I'm going to bring that in here.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game.
It goes through and it loads up everything. Remember, everything is turned into the cabinet, and all the buttons, the flipper buttons, are turned into an Xbox controller. Boy, that's destroying it. How about that? Will that be okay? Can you still... Now you can't see me, but... We'll just do that. Ah, I can get me a light. Hold on. I need a light. I need a light so I can be seen. A little bit, anyway. I don't... It's not like I planned this at all. Why didn't I plan this? So anyway... I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to turn up the sound a little bit so I can play. Thank you. It's a 4K monitor on the Playfield, a regular 1080 back glass, and then whatever it is. It's not a real DMD. It is actually just a monitor for the DMD because I wanted it just in case there's going to be other things that uses real images and not just DMD images. So it looks great. It looks like a DMD right now. We have Revenge from Mars as a real pinball. It is really crisp. Yes. We have Revenge from Mars as a real pinball. So I kind of know that what it kind of feels like, even though Attack from Mars is different. Oh, that might have been a little loud. Flying saucers from Mars! Alright, so also the back box animation up here. There are guys on the internet that make these back box animations and stuff. You gotta look all that stuff up and tie it all in. It's a little bit of a process. It doesn't just come together. You gotta actually put in the effort to put it all together here. Alright. I tried... Like I said, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's a real machine or if it's a virtual machine. It's not going to have the same flipper reaction as a real machine. You just want to get as little of time between you pushing that button and that flipper activating through your graphics card, through your monitor, through all that crap, and get it as close as possible. And I think with their update, it's gotten there. At least for me. Brent is a little bit better player than me, and he says he still feels the lag. But for me, I think it actually works a lot better. And I like the animation that they put into this thing to add on top to it. It just adds to the fun. Martian attack. No, no. Their little Martians actually hop pretty realistically. They may be a little bit more rubbery than the real life ones. The little guys are going to jump up and down. I really like these guys. Here, I'm going to hold that. You can see them hopping. Yeah, that doesn't look good at that angle. Never mind. I tried. But the subwoofer, to me, the subwoofer is giving me enough of a kick that it feels like it's actually happening. Oh, that was a drain? It looks really good. It looks good on the stream. It looks fantastic in real life. This is just like, if you go to a casino, it's just as clean and crisp as any modern slot machine that's being played using the, you know, screens. The only other thing that I have to try to figure out is the sensitivity of the nudge, which I think I've turned off for now because it's just annoying. Sometimes if you hit the flipper too hard, it'll nudge, and I don't want that. I'd rather not nudge at all than it to nudge when I don't want it to. There we go. Gameplay is very similar to Revenge from Mars. Oh, drain. It would detect the cabinet being bumped. Yes, it would. It actually has a little gyroscope thing on the little device you get to wire in all the buttons. So essentially, and this is what I've told people, essentially is the left joystick of a Xbox controller is the cabinet itself. The cabinet itself is the left joystick of an Xbox controller. So when you shake it and you bump it, is the same as moving the joystick on your controller, and it's supposed to nudge. However, it is too sensitive on here, and I'm trying to get it just right. The right joystick is your plunger, all the other buttons and stuff, triggers and things. You use a encoder that changes these inputs to be an input from an Xbox 360 controller, which then Zen can read. Let's do something else. So that was one of the Williams tables, and you can visibly see a difference on the screen when it's a Williams table. So, like, this is a Williams one. The artwork compared to one that they made for virtual, which is Blade here. And I think that the Zen ones work a lot better than the actual tables.
Please wait.
And they're fun because they do physics and things that you
it.
can't do in real life. So that's always cool. A lot of Marvel tables. There's a lot of Star Wars tables, which I gotta be careful with because I don't want any get in trouble with copyrights because I didn't turn off the copyright thing.
You can't hide.
And so when you're using the actual plunger, it's a real physical plunger right here. So when you pull it back on the screen, it changes depending on how far you pull it back. You go all the way, you go a little bit, and it'll launch and it'll go. Let me hold the ball here and I'll bring the camera back up. Balls Block 0. Oh! Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, Roll Scory. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really like the Zen tables.
Who's there?
I didn't even want to bother with the future pinball or visual pinball stuff. Besides the legality of it all,
I feel my strength returning.
and when you play I don't know how often you played the Zen tables, what you see is not all what you get. Sometimes there's hidden play fields, hidden modes that just doesn't happen until you activate it. So even if a table looks kind of basic, it's not.
Look out, it's Frost.
I also noticed too that the Zen tables do not drain as much as the real tables, which can make the game more fun because you're not draining all the time. I say that as it drains.
This easily.
Loud. Where'd my microphone go? Why is it not on?
I'm here to spoil your feast.
How about that? You can at least hear me off that camera. Until I can figure out this one. That one's off. Yeah, it's going off my iPhone camera right now, but I want the snowball is what I want. There it is. Now turn that one off. What is up with that? That is weird. Alright, well at least the sound is back. Sorry about that. I don't know how that turned off. That was weird. Alright. Anyway. Back to play a little bit.
Who's there? Yeah!
But yeah, any other questions about this? I'm willing to answer as much as I can.
Supposed to guide me to their lairs?
I did have to try to buy a fairly nice graphics card in a time that I guess is really hard to buy graphics cards.
Hurry up.
Weird. This is a night scene apparently because it's all dark.
Silver balls are expensive, but worth every penny.
What's the graphics card? It is a 1070? Yeah, 1070 is what it is. I had to find it on
Just
eBay.
not me.
This one came, I guess the minimum that you want is a 1070. You don't want anything lower than that. And
Trust no one.
this computer
Especially
came with like a
vampires.
1030. I don't know a lot about computers, but I had to figure it out just to do this machine. I'm a Mac guy, so doing PC stuff is just really not my wheelhouse. But I am learning. Because now
Work!
I have 3 PCs. If now just outnumbered my max. But I like Mac. I like Mac better.
Thanks, Blade.
Yeah, so these are not very draining games.
Catch the silver ball.
Does add to the fun if you are not a very good player, which that's what I am. Is it just this dark mode the whole time? What's going on?
Crash this party.
Oh, now it's draining. Oh! Ball save. This whole... I thought whatever this mode for darkness would be over by now, but apparently not. Go up. Oh, come on. I got an extra ball.
You can't stop me this easily.
There's an extra ball!
Shoot again.
Yeah, shoot again. The lights came back.
We part company for now, buddy.
I will say the one...
See you tomorrow night.
Here's the one annoying thing about Zen Pinball is that when you go to launch the ball, it always zooms in down here for the launch, which can screw up if you're trying to do a skill shot or whatever. But you can get out of it, but you have to do it every single time. You have to change the view so it gets out. That's the one annoying thing in cabinet mode, that it zooms down to the shooter when you're trying to launch the ball.
Treasure out of their reach.
Which there should be an option to turn that
Feel my
off
strength return.
if you're in cabinet mode, but there is not. Can't disable it, nope. You can bypass it each ball, you can bypass it, but you have to hit a button every single time, and it screws it with your view. It just answered your question. That's okay, there's a delay. Oh,
Fight to stop me.
there's a delay between me talking and you typing. I get it.
I feel my strength returning. Soon, all Nosferatu will be
Pretty cool.
on me.
Yeah!
Whew. It's pretty cool, though. I don't know. Yeah, there's a bunch of tables. I can just go through what we got here. Again, this is only Zen. So we got Adventureland. We got 3 Aliens tables. American Dad, Archer. Attack from Mars, that's a Williams. Back to the Future. Again, this is the Zen Back to the Future, not the real Back to the Future. Biolab. That one is Black Rose. That's a real one. Blade. Bob's Burgers. Captain America. Castle Storm. Circus Voltaire. That's a real table. Civil War. Creature Black Lagoon. That's a real table. Deadpool. Not the Stern Deadpool. One of these. Doctor Strange. Doom. Dr. Dude. That's a real one. E.T. Earth Defense. El Dorado. Epic Quest. Excalibur. Fallout. Family Guy. Fantastic Four. Fear Itself. Fishtails, that's a real one. Funhouse is a real one. Ghost Rider. Guardians of the Galaxy. Hurricane is a real one. Iron Man. Jaws. Junkyard, that's another real one. Jurassic Park. These are just Zen Jurassic Parks. These are not the real ones. 3 Jurassic Parks. Then we got Ant-Man. Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers. A-Force. Contest of Champions. Medieval Madness. Which, I mean, it's the virtual version, but it's still pretty cool. Monster Bash. That's a real table. Moon Knight. Mars. No Good Gophers is a real one. Paranormal. Pasha. Portal. Red and Ted. Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. Rome. Safecracker. Secrets of the Deep. Shaman. Son of Zeus. Sorcerer's Lair. This is one of my favorite Zen pinball tables, is Sorcerer's Lair. Space Station. Spider-Man. And then we get into all these Star Wars tables. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. Lots and lots of Star Wars. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. Lots and lots. And then Arabian Nights, Tesla, Champion Pub, that's real. Skyrim, Getaway, which is the sequel to High Speed, which we will be talking about here shortly. Infinity Gauntlet Party Zone, that's real. Walking Dead, you won't know any of the characters. Theater of Magic, Thor, V12, Venom, Whitewater, almost to the end. And Wild Wild West, Wolverine, World War Hulk, and the X-Men. Lots to choose from, and Zen is going to add tables more and more and more. There we are. Let's light that up one more time here. Backing it up. So yeah, so this is the status of the virtual pinball. I think it's cool. But we have a lot of work to do on High Speed. I need to figure out how to do a Playfield swap, which I have never done before. We're going to turn this. Now I still have to figure. I still haven't turned. I haven't put power switches in the places they need to be either. So I have to turn it off a weird way. So you shut down through this. So the front end will allow you to shut the computer off. And then once it's shut down, and I know because these lights will go out, the other ones stay on because they are just on the power supply. And then I shut off the power supply in the back, which again I will have to change. There we go. Now, let's talk about what costs a lot of money and why the High Speed has really cost a lot of money. There we go. Turn that light on. Back in the world of real pinball. Here we go. I'm going to get this guy out of the way. And we are not going to damage it. Everything on here is brand new. I built the cabinet. Brand new lock bar, brand new coin door. Brand spanking new everything. Oh. So we really don't want to run into stuff with it. Can I take it in there? Let's see if I can take it into the arcade. Ah. Nope. You're just going to rest right there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's a new pinball lift. It's kind of weird. All right, so let's go grab some High Speed and we will see some fantastic, amazing new Playfield. Give me just a second while I go get it. Buddy. People are waiting. Come on. Right there. There we go. Now go up. So, there it is. So the big important thing about High Speed. This stupid light at the top, which you can't see. It's up there. That stupid light makes it hard to go through doorways, even on a pinball lift. So you got to lower it and then bring it back up. Lights, camera, action is worse because it's got a huge freaking thing. Am I going to hit the light or hit the camera? No. All right, bringing it back. Bringing back the high speed. High speed's coming back. Oh, it's coming back. Bring that down. I think I may have put the hand truck on it wrong, but whatever. Here we go. Little guy that Brent doesn't care about. I care about him. There he is. Doing a lot of work to him. About to do a heck of a lot more. Alright, apron's already off. We've taken that off. I'm just going to set it over here. Alright, I got a little too much light. Maybe that'll be better, or we just kill it. I don't know. Anyway. So, here is what it is. And we'll talk about why it's going to be different. We thought we could save this. Like, we'll just do some touch-up work. But, here we go. So, that is really rough. That's really rough. That's really rough. I mean, touch-up work is kind of out of the question if we want to have any bit of time on this thing. It just got rough. So even the spots that were okay under the Mylar, just everywhere else. Where's that spot up here? I can't see it from this angle. Everywhere else, though, like trying to touch up that car, that would be a big pain in the butt. And when I was just using just the light water and soapy water, the paint was just flaking off. So, here's that. So this Playfield has seen its day. And I have never done a Playfield swap before. But guess what? It's happening. And let me show you what it's going to be. Let's go back to this one. And then let me grab the new Playfield. We might do a side by side. I don't know. But we're at least going to do it this way. Hold on, glass. Alright. Here we go. Will this fit across here? Yes, it will. This is a brand spanking new Playfield from Classic Playfield Reproductions. Look at that. It looks just like a cardboard box. You would have thought that this was just a cover, but no. The Playfield is just a box. Oh, wait, no, it's another cover. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is why the price of the High Speed has gone up. We're what, $2,000 now from $400? But this is why it's so beautiful. Okay. Gorgeous. Now, this, yeah, wow, it is super shiny, super beautiful, super clean, super white. Let's come over here and let's just take a tour of this gorgeous high-speed Playfield. So, first thing we notice is that all the spots that are under the plastics are painted a bright white instead of whatever the original color was, off-white or whatever. And there's a little bit more spots that are painted than what was on the original. All of the other spots look fantastic. There's supposed to be 5 coats of sealing on it. I don't know if there is because you can still see the detail and the letters coming through, but I mean, it's still smooth as heck. It's fine, but I don't think that's 5 coats. It might be. I'm not an expert, but here we go. There's that car from the regular Playfield. How beautiful. All this stuff is all brand new. And guess what? It is not going to be a job that gets done in a half an hour. This is going to take some time. So there are things on, look, even that spot, all that is just coated and beautiful and shiny. There are some how-tos, kind of how-tos on Pinside to follow. But I'm going to go over what my plans are for this Playfield swap. But it is gorgeous. It is freaking beautiful. That's why this machine now costs a lot more money. The underside, see if we can see it underneath, is white or just regular. They've already pre-drilled the holes, which I think from what I saw on Pinside, they may not be super accurate on where the hole placement is, so you just got to be careful where you're putting all the stuff. But you'll see the difference here between this one and the old one here in a second when we lift up the old one. See if we get a good shot down here. Just see that shine coming off of there. Shink! You almost don't want to put a ball across it. But we need to. We want this game beautiful. And the main reason we did this is because, one, we had to buy the back glass brand new because it didn't have a back glass. All brand new LED displays. We are already going for it, so we might as well do it right. And our job here is not to just make these playable, is to make them beautiful. So we'll have to do this, and we'll do the cabinet as well. So, all right. So, here we go. I'm going to take this off, and we're going to lift up the other playfield, and I'm going to go over my plans of what to do here. Take all of it. We're going to set it over on OXO. My little buddy OXO. Come over here. You just sit there for now. All right. Love to do a side-by-side, but I don't think I can do it without it being precarious. So we're not going to do a side-by-side. But you can obviously see a difference. I mean, look at that. Just from there, you can see that it looks beautiful in the background. All right, here we go. Lifting this guy up. This is the other thing about this playfield that annoys me, is that you can't slide the playfield out. It's only on a hinge. So, yeah, this is why people don't do playfield swaps. All of that has to come off. You'll notice underneath is painted gray and not... Yeah, that is a lot of work, and you got to get it right. We have a Star Trek that we got a brand new playfield for too, and I want to do the work on this, which is harder than Star Trek, so that when I get to Star Trek, it'll be a piece of cake. So here is what my plan is going to be like so far. If you'll notice that there is a path of how the wires go. So we have, this is as far back as this camera goes. So basically the wires come in from the bottom here. They snake around here, filling out this section. They snake around here, filling out, snake around. They come around over here, filling that out. They come back up here. So there's a path. There's a pattern. There's a place to go. I need to take 100 million pictures of where everything is. And then my other plans are to, when I start to take things off, I need to remember how many screws go where. I also need to pull, if it's got a mechanism, keep all the stuff for the mechanism together. And I think I'm going to wrap it in like a baggie, and then I'm going to zip tie it. And I'm going to zip tie it with these zip ties. I have hundreds of zip ties, but these zip ties I bought because they are bright colors. So I want to zip tie all the stuff together to make it not so wiry. But with these ones, I'll know which ones I can cut off. Which ones would be safe to cut off after I'm done. So we're going to start taking it apart from the top and working our way down to the bottom. And then we're going to, well, we have to unhook everything from the back box, obviously. And then we're going to get my pinball rotisserie, and we're going to put the new one on the rotisserie, I think. Flip that over onto the rotisserie, and then lay all these wires on top of it. and very slowly put all it back together that way. The first thing I want to do, though, to take apart, I'm not going to take any of that stuff apart. First thing I want to do is take off these. Where's the place to hold? And I think I can do this today. I want to take off these side rails, these wood side rails, because I have to put these on the new one. But when they're off, I'm going to have to sand them and clean them and put them on the right way. So one of the main reasons I want to put these on first is it adds a layer of protection to the face of the playfield in case I lay it down, that I'm not going to be touching the actual playfield itself. So that's kind of my plan there. I do know that I need all the tools in the world. I'm going to need my soldering iron. I'm going to need meters and all sorts of stuff like that. I already got all the pictures from when we took off the plastics. It's not an easy job. I know it's not going to be easy, but it's necessary, and it's going to be great experience to learn how to do all this. I'm even going to take these little metal things out because they got to go into the new one too. Everything on here has to go into the new one. And I'm not sure. Wait, let me see if they've got the T-nuts in this. Yeah, there's even spots here that are supposed to have T-nuts, and they're not on here. So I'm going to have to get the T-nuts that go on there too. Whew, a lot of work. However, let's do something. Let's get some sort of started before we sign the paycheck. Sign the paycheck. And then maybe later tonight when I'm not standing here working, I'll go do my other stream of classic arcade games. I don't know. So how do I want to do this? Just lift that up like that. We do have a prop. It's not a very good prop. Bring it here, I guess. I don't like that I can't take the playfield out. All the other pinballs can slide it out a little bit and work on it, but you can't because it's just on this hinge. So let's try to take just Pinbot 2. I don't know. I have a friend that has a Pinbot, but I don't have a Pinbot. But I don't know if it was just this era. This is 1986 where it was just on this hinge. Reminds me a bit of the inside of Pinbot. Maybe. Yeah. Well, the hinge part sucks. Alright, so, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do it? Let's just start with one at a time. Precarious, yeah. And you have all these, like, parts on the back. It's not going to do any good that way, so just do this. So we're going to take this guy. So they're screwed in the back. And I don't know if they're glued. We're going to find out if they're glued as well. This I did not reattach, so we'll take that off again. Let me make sure I'm taking pictures of every step, even if it's small steps. Every step. Every step we take. And then I've got baggies in the other room. So I've already taken these nails out when I was trying to clean it. But now I got to keep everything organized. Where is the screwdriver? And, excuse me, I keep crossing this camera because it's like right there. Don't be without your little magnetic dish. Alright. So take these. Take this broken piece. Might as well just start the Playfield Swap now, or at least part of it. I need to get into the groove anyway. I need to know what I'm doing. All this stuff will have to be, super cleaned. If we're gonna have a brand new playfield, we need to have everything gorgeous. That part's not magnetic. All right. Let me take these together. I'm gonna tape the screws on it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tape the screws on it. So we don't lose them. We're just going to attach it right here. There we go. We're just going to attach them, keep them, save them. Screws and nails are with this piece. Don't lose this piece. It's not going to help me to lose that. All right. Here we go. This is the official first start, I think. Playfield will never be played on again, at least as a high speed. We're thinking after the fact here too to just oh, is that it? There we go. To maybe sand the playfield down and make a special arcade dungeon playfield and hang it on the wall with some lights and stuff. That way we have like cool little artwork. I will say too that excellent idea. Thank you. I have so many spare parts that I think that artwork is the best way for, like, I have like maybe 2,000 arcade buttons. I need to do something with them. Being very careful with this. I will say that if anybody doesn't know, this game, I got this game working 100%. We rebuilt all the stuff in the back. We rebuilt the power supply. We did all sorts of stuff already on that. So if it doesn't work after the Playfield swap, that's my fault. It's all me. We're going to find out if this is glued on or not. I hope it's not. I think it might be. So be very careful to take it off. So that's 1, 2. These screws are really long. So, oh, I don't think it's glued. Looks like it is. That's not a vote of confidence. Here we go. I think the fact that they have these really long screws, that is a good sign. Ta-da! It may, I don't know. No? I don't really see any evidence of glue. Maybe the other ones are. We don't know. All right. There's this. Look how beat up that is. So we're going to sand that down pretty good. And then Brent said that mineral oil would be the better way to go with it. Sand that down. Put it back on the new one. But for now, I'm going to tape the screws to it so I don't lose the screws. I know there's 3 anyway. There we go. Tapey. You know, even underneath where it was, it looks like it's dirty. Like, how does it get dirty under there? This thing was god awful. It sat outside. Who knows how long it sat outside? 1 subtask down. 9. Cigarette smoke? No, not cigarette smoke. It's just the guy left it outside. All right. Tapey. Everybody stay together. Know who your part buddy is. Don't go wandering off so we don't know who you are. Stay together. All right, so this side, if I pull a nail out, that can stay on. So I got to pull off the spinner and here, we'll set this back down. And then we're going to have to do it from the other way. There we go. It's getting caught. Oh. It's getting caught on its own lift. Do-do-do-do. So we're going to take that one off. But I have to take off the spinner and a nail. Pictures, pictures. Don't forget the pictures. That's there. That's got a nail. Okay. Come on, buddy. Work when I want you to. Whew. Yeah, we're not taking it all apart today because I need to get the rotisserie and I need some space, but at least get started. If I can get all these wood rails off, then I think I'm good. I'm just going to put this screw right back in this hole. That's where it goes anyway. There, and then take this nail out. And this Playfield swap is being done because of wear on the existing playfield. Of excessive wear on the existing playfield, yes. It is here. Yeah. I don't know. I'm doing this backwards. Yeah, we're doing it because of that. And it's all cracky, you know. Age, cracky, and sat outside in the heat and, you know, all that stuff. That's why we're doing it. Alright, taking out this little nail. Just going to try to pull this back a little bit. I think I've taken this off before. Yes, I have. I don't want to take the ramp off yet if I can avoid it. I just want to take the nail out. There we go. Maybe get yourself a little hammer. I got a little hammer. Does this playfield include new inserts? Yes, it does. It is a CPR playfield. There we go. Here's for the new people around. Here you go. Shunk. There's the new one. Shiny, brand new CPR playfield. Reproduction. Obviously. But yes, it is gorgeous. Yes. It is beautiful. First things I want to put on are those wood rails to protect the front if I turn over the front while I work on the back. If my rotisserie isn't going to work out. Alright, that nail's out, that nail's out. So I think I can flip it up and take out this side. If I can get a screwdriver in there. Oh, careful now. Careful. Gonna take apart your pinball, and it's gonna look so awesome. You know what's gonna be fantastic is that I get this done, we put it in the arcade, and not a single person that plays it would ever know that this is what I had to do. Oh, it's just another pinball to play. Yeah. Lots of work, my friends. Lots of work. Where's my little cuppy? Need an 80s soundtrack playing in the background? Yeah. The 80s copyright infringement soundtrack playing in the background? You know, our arcade, when the arcade is open, it does have 80s music playing the entire time. 80s and 90s music. Because those are the games that are in there. It is very retro feeling. Very nostalgic. Very awesome. All the video games are $1 to play. The pinballs range from $1 up to $1 because, you know, Jurassic Park and Iron Maiden, they are brand new games. I'm not charging $1 to play a brand new game. Those things were not cheap. kudos on them for putting really long ass screws in here. And they're all beautifully maintained. Heck yes they are, thank you. I try to tell people that are in here, just if there's a problem with any machine, let us know, and I will, if I can't fix it right then and there, at least I know, and I will get it fixed as soon as possible. Any machine that is playing in the arcade needs to function 100% correctly, or it's not in the arcade. We're not one of those places, I'm not going to name names, Pinball Museum in Las Vegas, where you can just go in and you want to play a game and it doesn't work. Or it partially works. We're not like that. Pretty rare. I've seen many arcades where they don't even bother to clean up the outside. Oh my gosh, no. We keep them going. We love it. We love the whole purpose. Man, I look stupid in this hat. The whole purpose of this endeavor that we're doing is to restore classic arcade games. We don't want them garbage. All of our flippers work. Come on. Boy, this would be a lot nicer if I could take the playfield out. I will take the playfield out and be the only one. The last time it will ever come out. There's this stupid hinge. Right here. Stupid hinge. I'm going to get that last screw. I have to tilt it, I think. I think they kind of designed it not to come back apart. There's a whole big black back piece too that we got to take off. That there are screws sticking out from the back, and I don't know if that was manufactured that way or if it's just somebody else did that. I don't know. Will you retain all the wiring, or you didn't think some of it will retain? Okay, so the game worked. So obviously I'm going to try to keep it all together. There may be some parts, like with, especially like the lights, that I may have to redo some things there. But I don't want to mess with any of it if it's working. Now, if I come across something while I'm taking it apart, well then, yeah, obviously I will change something out. This screw is in a bad spot. Come here, you. Come here, you. Nice guy, eh? Yeah, my fingers need the workout. I gotta get my dexterity back so I can play them classic arcade games at home. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not at all painful. Absolutely no pain whatsoever in my fingers. Come here, you. Ow. Taking the screw out by hand is not as easy as I thought it would be. A little bit more. There was somebody else on stream a little while ago that said that they attempted a Playfield Swap. I'm like, you can't really attempt it. You gotta finish it. That would suck to just get part way through and like, nah, can't do it. All right, I think that was all of them. Lay back down. Oh, come here, buddy. I know, we're going to be going up and down a lot. Slide this a little that way. Yes, yes. That's what we want to see. Pops right out of there. Guess we don't, well, I don't know, I shouldn't have to take that part off. At least I know what it is. Helps to identify which side it goes on. I got some of this residue on the, there we go, up here. Clean all that off. Is it possible to unplug the playfield and remove it to the rotisserie? Remove all the remaining parts and items? Seems it might be easier. The only thing is, I'm going to try to put it on the rotisserie after I take these off, but I have to take the back off because the rotisserie won't clamp down on it with all the stuff on the back. So I have to at least get the diverter part off, and this piece right here. I have to get that off, or else the rotisserie will not clamp on it. But yeah, that seems to be kind of what I want to do. And then maybe I'll just have, once these wood rails are on the new one, I'll flip the new one over on the OXO. And we'll just slide them really close together, and then maybe, just like a hospital would, get Brent to help me, and we just very carefully lift the body into the new skin. And just please, please, please do not take anything that I do as like, oh, this is how you do it. I'm learning right now. I'm just going off of what I think I should do right now. Alright, screws, stay in there. Trial and error, but hopefully not with a really bad long error. I can see that this will be a rather long process. Involved process is likely to reveal many items that need minor repair. This is absolutely true. Which anytime you shop a machine and you do it the right way, you're going to find that. Where you're like, ooh, wouldn't have even noticed this unless I was working on it. Alright, so those screws are with that one. So, that clears up this side. That will wait. Let's do the other side. Yeah, this is not one of those rush things to do. If you're gonna do a playfield swap, boy, you better be doing it right. And know what you're doing. Alright, I'm just going to take this guy out because obviously I don't think I have to do anything except unscrew him from the bottom. Let's flip it over. Yeah, let's do that. Stay there. No, there's no wiring at all. This thing is a piece of cake. Alright, where are we at? If I can get to it. There's a screw there. There's a screw there. There's a screw right there. You know what else I need to do? I need to put some little pads on the back of that, or towel. I don't want that hitting my back glass all the time. Once I take that off, that's not going to be a problem. But for now, let's not hit and mess up the brand new back glass. Alright. Right here. This one. On the last one, I should try to catch it. This is also one of those moments when you're dealing with anything underneath the playfield, to probably have things masked off so that if you drop a screw, you know where it's going to go. Or at least try to know where it's going to go. Sometimes it'll fall in the wiring and you're just kind of screwed till you find it. But these ones are nice and long. So hopefully that's not going to happen. If I was doing just basic repair work, I would block off with a towel the parts where I wasn't. So that the towel would hopefully catch the screw, or at least allow the screw to fall to the bottom of the cabinet. Come here, buddy. That's a buddy. Yeah, you want to come out? You want to be put into a new playfield? Yeah, you do. All your buddies are going to be there too. It's not just going to be you. Last one. Oop, I felt it move. I'm also using this to help me. I'm trying to design a pinball machine for myself, like a real one. And it's good to know where you want things on top of the playfield, but it's better to know how that's all going to fit underneath the playfield. Because you may want a flipper someplace where it can't go, or a pop bumper someplace where it can't go. It's good to know sizes of things underneath the Playfield. People that don't know pinball machines, the flipper is just that little itty bitty stick. They don't know there's this big ass thing underneath it too. And that's kind of important to know that when you're designing something and you want to put something somewhere. I've seen some problems like on Iron Maiden where they put a light underneath the flipper because that's the only way they could do it. It's like, ugh, to change out that light, you have to undo the whole flipper. All right. Easiest one to do. Look at that. It's just a little guy. There's a place in an 80s song, random 80s song, doesn't have any copyright laws, cause I'm making it up like an 80s song would sound, and all I need is some techno piano to go with it. There's nothing better than 80s song, 80s song. Ow! It bit me! Alright. Come back down. There we go. We are now right here. We're doing this guy. This is a long one. Goes all the way back. So we got to take the nails out here. 1, 2, 3. That can stay. Screw out of here. Nail out of there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 nails and a screw. Don't want to screw it up with that screw. Dude, you're screwed. One of the other great things about having a high speed to repair is that because they made so many of them, it's not very hard to get parts. Parts are pretty easy to find for a high speed. Oh yeah. Nailed it! I didn't put these ones all the way back in. It's like maybe I knew that I was going to have to take it apart. I don't know. Maybe. Take that temporarily out. Slide that over. And we're going to put this screw right back in there. This is pretty easy so far. I'm pretty sure now that I've taken these wood rails off, that's the hardest it's ever going to get. I've already done the hard part. There's no way that it can get more complicated than taking pieces of wood off of the side of the cabinet. Ow. Come on. Getting the nail out without bending the wall rail. There we go. There we go. That was it. Now, it should be all, and just unscrew it from underneath. Once we're unscrewed, we're unscrewed. Oh, yes. Stay there. Give me my towel. Thank you. Now, go back. Thank you. It's not a lot of screws. Pop bumpers and flipper mechs will probably reveal things that need maintenance. Yeah, well, any machine that we get in, I always redo the flippers. The flipper bats themselves were already cracked, and again, they stood outside forever. So yeah, I always rebuild the flippers, pop bumpers, check the skirts, check to make sure that there's no buildup, check your coils, make sure there's no burn, your sleeves are sliding out nice and easily so you can change out your coil sleeves. Yeah, to do a proper shop job, yeah, you check all that stuff, but we got a Dracula that was shopped by somebody in Texas, and I would not have paid the guy. The guy who we bought the pinball from knows nothing about pinball maintenance, and they didn't put the ramps back on correctly. There was a coil that was actually melted. I have it right here. I can show you. This is from Dracula. I'm like, I don't know how you missed this. So here, this is from our Bram Stoker's Dracula. So you can see the paper is burned. Yeah, that's one sign. The other sign is this. That's the coil sleeve melted into itself. It's like, how do you not notice that going on? Like, that whole mechanism was not working because that was happened. But I've saved it as a souvenir. That's just, come on now. You're going to pay somebody how much money to repair it? Probably a good time to take a look at the light sockets, also replace the bulbs and such. We've already replaced the bulbs before when we were going to try to do this. So yeah, we got tons of stuff. I already know I got to, get this whole grounding wire thing going, and yeah, we are not doing this. Yeah, melted coil sleeve should be pretty obvious. You would think. I have a whole page list on Pinside under Pumriby of all the repairs I did on our Dracula that was supposedly shopped. And it was not. But yeah. I'm not under any illusions doing this that it's going to be easy and that I will not run into any snags or find any more problems. I know I will. Everything we do also, we swap over to LED. So on the places where there were flashers, you have to cut off the one resistor or bypass the one resistor so that a LED flasher will work. So we do that. And I haven't done it on a couple. There's one here and there's still one here to take off so that all our LED flashers will work. No incandescence. If we can avoid it, we don't want incandescence. Even in our electromechanicals, we try to find a nice soft, a nice warm white LED just so it represents and it kind of looks the way it should, but it is not incandescent. LEDs all the way, baby. No, don't put this screw in a really bad spot. Yeah, but we put the screw on before we put it in the playfield or put it in the cabinet. Yeah. How long would you estimate this process take? Maybe a week. If I didn't have a job, maybe. But because I have a job, I don't know. What I want to do is all the preliminary stuff as far as I can go. Strapping things down, putting things in baggies, using all my fluorescent zip ties, all that stuff as much as I can without taking it, so that when I have to take it and put it on the other one, I can do it on like a day like today where I'm off. But I work so much. I work 6 days a week. Technically, I'm working right now. I'm just over here waiting for a truck to show up. Yeah, if this was my job, if this is what I did every day, yeah, I probably could get it done in about a week or so, a few days. I don't know. Never done it before. Playfield Swap. We're about to find out how long it takes. Today, there's so much to do. We also have a new pinball, new to us pinball, coming today that we just bought in Albuquerque. One of the ones that Brent has wanted forever. And technically we already have, but it's a parts cabinet. So it's got all the parts. It's got the one we have has a beautiful playfield and all the parts, but the cabinet is trashed. But we were able to find a good specimen in Albuquerque this weekend. And so now we have a parts cabinet. The game that we're getting is 1982's Gottlieb Haunted House. which is one of Brent's Holy Grail games. So now we have a brand. We also have the parts cabinet we got for $250. So we have a ton of parts in case we need them. But Brent said that the one he just bought, it works, it plays. But I'll be the judge of that. All right, did I get them all? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It looks like I did to me, but maybe I will slide this down and find out. Coming down. Oh, we're coming down, guys. Coming down. Is it free? Am I missing one? Maybe I lift it up a little bit here so I can grab it. No. Hold on. I'm missing one somewhere. Oh! Haha. Shooter thing. Gotta take that off. Hold on. Before I take that off, I need a picture of it because I need to know that I'm taking that off. Come here, guys. Thank you. Photos, photos. I mean, we live in the modern times. I couldn't imagine doing this in the 80s where we didn't have the internet. Of course, this playfield wouldn't need to be swapped if it was the 80s, but still. Pinball repair, all the stuff I've learned is all come from the internet. So, good thing I'm doing it now. Oh, there we go. That one. Missing one. I think right in the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope it's not underneath that hinge. 5. No, it shouldn't be. Maybe I'm missing something else. Why don't you just pull it? Oh, wait. It's free. Dang it. Alright, come back down. Come on, sorry. Freaking rail now is going to push off to the side here. Gotta be careful of that. Alright. Oh, look at that. See what this is? That is solder. I didn't do that. Somebody got solder there. And they worked on it at some point. But here it is. It's free. Soon to be part of the new one. But before I put this thing on, look at, yeah. This thing has to get up to part of this before it goes on here. Are all the screws lined up? Yeah. Screw holes are not lined up. Yeah, that's another thing they said about these playfields. There are screw holes, but sometimes they don't line up. So you may have to put in another screw holes. So basically what I'll do with this is fill in, because they're really close, I'll fill in the holes on this with toothpicks. And then when I screw in the next thing next to it, it'll get a good grip on it. But we got to clean all that off. At some point. And time. But that time is not right now. That time is not today. It will be soon. Okay. So that's a safe start on taking this apart. The next thing I'm going to do is clean those off and get them onto here. And then I can feel a little bit better about the top being protected. And then I'll take off the back step by step. No real hurry. No real hurry. You're just going to do it a nice, safe way. Okay, so I guess what that means is that's all the time I got. That means I got to get back to regular job life. Oh, that's not the camera I want. There we go. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Worked on the virtual pinball and kind of saw some little things that I did. We did this. We got a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully the haunted house will be here today. I get to check it out. We still have Superman in the back. We've got Stargate in the back, Stargate Pinball. We've got the Star Trek. We've got Baby Pack. We've got so many things to do. But at least this I can do on my own without Brent's help. And I'm really excited and not as nervous as I think I should be to do this. I think it's going to be a nice learning experience. But for now, that's all the time I got. It's an hour and a half. I got to get back to work. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you so much to the Rolls Corey for subscribing. Appreciate that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate everybody chiming in. I'm going to go maybe have some lunch and get back to work. I'll see you, if you guys are interested. I'm going to be streaming retro games tonight from my house. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing, but I might be doing that too. So, thank you guys. Peace out. See you next time. Enjoy your afternoons. Have fun. We'll get this done. Goodbye.